ki kenun seng balang baper jong kadong shatai lamingi ki bodan hapo kalama jong ka North East Student Organization ki bodan hakanong ba Shillong da kawai kasor kiladawa na sorkar India bakade bunweng no ya ka anyak chakor ka Armed Forces Special Power Act 1958 na ka than shatai lamingi lada kisngo bakani kadong kathan kadang de ka bynta jong kari India kani kalawan hadien baka North East Student Organization harangkat bat kaseng ki samla puli ka khasi Student Union kila penlong ya ka jingsong klan mungor hau modur wo kyang nang ba bat hadien pat penbut pat sada ka jingthang bomiti ban penpa yu jing persya ahlo ka jisa siat yap jong ki khat sangut ki mensiam bolilo ya ki sipai ka belaja ha kasnong oting jong ka mon district ka jela nagalan na padeng ka KSU ki wei ki seng balang ki belai poli sya ka te ki jingsong klai mungor ki kentup ya ka JSU FKG GP HNYF RBYF Hito, NAGAS Student Union Shillong, Twipra Student Federation Shillong, Arunachal Student Union Shillong, Shillong Assamese Socio-Cultural Student Association, Karbi Student Association Shillong, All Bodo Student Union Shillong, Shillong Manipuri Student Union, Mizoram Union Shillong, Mara Student Organization Shillong. Nakaliang Presiden ke KSU samla lambok star marngar uloong baka jingja haka sautrik mentau benai nopra hamon district ke jalan Nagalan kadai ke jingsya peniap jengki beriu belalui kamdi syu kestien ke baringkong henrei kadai ke belajar man kepor haki jala jong kathan cetai lamingi
ka jingja ka sautrik jong ulai benai nopra hamon district Nagalan ka jingsya peniap jong kinong bala kamdi syu tang kasin banangkong hari kelaci la bun tedi gicaka hari kathan cetai lamingi bro kowe Pak Nasim, bangka sorkar India kelap dan kam kita kinuking Atiar niki kun kado jong sorkar India tunggu penmadan yang iki pai dulum nakapor sekapor larang ia ki ngipan jeng jeng dawa ke jongi baper haba kita kikan hun keng Atiar jong pada kathan setela mengi honsen ki kran ya ka history haba ngidan la ka jong ka history hendai honsen ka sorkar India ka ong kini kinong persya ya kariti sensar jong kari India hanay nga kwa balbu kasing kali ako pinagkrebat ya ka sorkar India mano bastang banganra kasing ya umsnam bat mano bastang panpandan kam da kabawa jong ukuli langba ki tangsuay jong ka sorkar India kani tik kaput kepada sahabat jongka sorkar India hakaba itawa pantang prikam ya ka ALP hapo kathan satira mengi brogoy ka sorkar India kawan ra ta kata CAP tu kopor manta ka kawan ka CA makwa bandong Shillong kakti kapadang kam lagian Shillong kakti kapandan kam daw kuri yang ikon kipat dunyam hak ni katang than setela mengi hibro kawai iko ban kan na kawasay na kapos kapor kaseng kasi sudan niyan hasatri jang kadeso hapo jingaram jang ba sambal bijwa kumul chaman wa kumpersen barem jang kaseng ontang ikran ya ki shuba fer kiwa jingdan kam jang than jang than lam mengi hibro kawai nila jupan sel Baya katakan ayak jakor ke AFSPA ladai benweng no sisnon nakathan setela mengi handai hajakab menyo jubak dia kata kasokaran dia ka jubak kau kuli de wasim dia jengim jenggi belu ki baloi makwa abang kren da basara jeng slokia balai ngiyang hande nama persen wat hande ka dari bi ke jongi nia jui nakapost ki jintho lamba ki social media kan pengiwa ya kawai ke poster kendarat wastang cal wastang patlindang kita ki MP baper handai ngaku abandang mentayap kembak halai kasangut ki pat dulu napo jalan Nagalan nampak di wairu utawa MP ban ai nang ajeng ujor persyak kini am proses tong kesokaran dia kali rekakasun Kebapun kita dulu jong kecewatan setelah mengi ngihapan perkat kei ngihapan jat ng NESO keman.
Ucerman ke North East Student Organization uba Samuel B. Jarwa habakran hak jinyalang ulong baka jingwan jengki hakani kacaka kalong ban persya iksipai keberkat jubor ikimen siam bokodor jengki beriau belului bat balapan pau balada ke sorkar India kadang ken yiki jela ki bodan hakatan cetai lamingi kum bynta jong kari India kelade bunweng no ya ke Armed Forces Special Power Act.
Well, brothers and sisters, this is not a one-off incident that happened in Nagaland. This particular incident has brought back bitter memories of the past, where villagers in Manipur, in Nagaland, have suffered this same fate, where the army personnel, the security forces, they'll just come and swoop down on the village and kill the men folk, rape the women folk, and torture the innocent villagers for days on end. This has been happening since 1950s till today. The security forces in the whole of the northeastern region have been committing these crimes from time to time. We have seen the operations in the state of Assam. We have seen the suppression, the oppression by the armed forces in the state of Tripura. And also, we must have heard about the bombing in Aizawl, in Mizoram in 1966 by the Air Force of the Indian Armed Forces. Well, brothers and sisters, we used to wonder why this is happening in the northeastern states of India. Is it because of the factors that the government of India this portrays, the mindset and attitude of the government of India that they have towards the people of the northeastern region? Is it because that we are different in looks and features? We eat differently, our language is different, our culture is different. And also, is it because that the indigenous people of the northeastern region have been demanding for their rights, for their protection from any internal and external aggression right from the time when India has got its independence? The act committed by the security forces has further been emboldened by the imposition of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958. This act, my brothers and sisters, we should know that this was not an Indian act created by the Parliament of India. This AFSPA was imposed first by the colonial rulers of the time, the British, in August of 1942 to suppress the Quit India movement. And after India attained its independence, in which the people of Northeast have also fought for the independence from the British, that very same government, after having attained its independence, is imposing the same law, the same colonial law upon its own people. This only reflects the mindset and attitude that the government of India has towards the people of the northeastern region. NESO has been demanding for the removal, for the repeal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, along with so many other organizations, so many civil societies have been demanding for the repeal of this act. But the government of India, instead of repealing this act, has turned a deaf ear to this demand, and instead it continued with the imposition of this draconian law. And I think the time has come where we should call upon the government of India that if it thinks that Northeast is still part of India, that its first step, it should be to repeal this AFSPA from the whole of the northeastern region. We also gathered here today to express our solidarity with our brothers in Nagaland, especially in the one district of Nagaland, of the pain and suffering that they are enduring because of this barbaric act committed by the trigger-happy security forces of that area. NESO is organizing this protest in the whole of the northeastern region, in the different states, in all the states of northeastern region, the state capital, and also here in Meghalaya, also in Tura, in the Kyrwoh Hills district, to express our resentment, a protest against the government of India, the armed forces, and also to show our solidarity with the people in Nagaland. to show that we are one, even though we are divided physically through artificial boundaries, but emotionally we are one. If the people of Nagaland are suffering, the whole of northeastern region is also suffering. And this we have to stand united against any forces that are inimical to our interests. They will try to divide us in order to weaken our resolve, in order to weaken our fight. But we have to be aware of all these forces who are against the interests of the unity of the northeastern region. And once again, I call upon each and every one of us that we should stand united in our fight against this draconian law. And I call upon the respective state governments of each of the state of the northeastern region that they should push the central government for the repeal of this draconian act from the whole of the northeastern region. And if the government of India doesn't listen to the voice of the people, it only shows two things: that it treats the northeastern region as a colony, not as a part of a nation or part of a country. And at the same time, it wants to impose this draconian law in order to suppress and oppress the voice of the people through military might. But this will have an after effect. It will further alienate the indigenous people of the northeastern region.
Section 3 and Section 4 of the Armed Forces Special Power Act, which says that the governor or the ruler of the Union Territory can declare an area or the whole state as a disturbed if it is, in their opinion, it is so disturbed. Sadly to say, Armed Forces Special Power Act is made to be applied only in Northeast and Jammu and Kashmir. The big question is why it is so. In Northeast, my friend, we are having around 23 districts. In the whole of India, there are 96 districts which are affected by Maoists and Naxalites. You compare the 23 and the 96, but the Indian government, since the inception of the Naxalite movement and the Maoist movement, never dared to declare AFSPA in those areas. 40% of the landed territory of India is the red corridor, what we call, or the Maoist affected portion of India. No AFSPA was implemented in those parts of India, in what we from the Northeast would call the mainland India. Is it because of our cultural differences? Is it because of the chinky eyes? Is it because of our height, of our look, that we are discriminated by the use of bullets? Why AFSPA was not implemented, in spite of the fact that the Maoists and the Naxalites, in one go, they will kill 70 to 80 police and army personnel, which has never occurred in Northeast, in spite of in the height of its militancy and extremism. This is a step-motherly treatment by the government of India, and it's very sad to say that Amit Shah said when the incident has taken place in Nagaland on the 4th of this month, he said it was a case of mistaken identity. Life were lost, Mr. Amit Shah. You cannot conclude by saying it's a case of mistaken identity. You are a non-tribal, suppose you come to Meghalaya, by mistake we beat you as Home Minister. We also might say that it's a case of mistaken identity. You cannot take it lightly by saying, by concluding that it is a case of mistaken identity. We have seen when AFSPA was very much implemented in Jammu Kashmir, time and again, the Chief Minister of Jammu Kashmir, the ruling party of Jammu Kashmir, all concerns of Jammu Kashmir, they have raised a protest against this Armed Forces Special Power Act because it is a power to kill. In the section of the law, there is no mention that to be declared a disturbed area, a resolution in the assembly need to be passed. They have bypassed that. They simply said in the provisions of the AFSPA that a governor, if he is sufficient to if from its point of view to be declared a disturbed area, it can be declared. But I will tell you, the whole of Northeast is disturbed since we get independence till today. The Indian government has disturbed us by imposing CAA. In the whole of Northeast, in spite of protests from all corners of Northeast, the Indian government has pursued forward to implement this CAA. CAA is another form of aggression. CAA is another form of making us minority in our own land. And they have the Armed Forces Special Power Act to silence us with bullets. It's a two-way, three-way, four-way form of aggression that the Indian government has prepared for us. Should we remain silent as Northeast people? Should we remain silent? Or should we speak out? In a democratic country, to implement a law which is as draconian as the AFSPA. So, from the H1AF, I stand here calling for unity in the whole of Northeast. And I appeal to the NESO that we must not raise the issue of AFSPA unless someone dies. But it should be and it must be a continuous movement till Armed Forces Special Power Act is revoked in the entire of India and Northeast India.
We have witnessed in these past few years so many incidents has been taking place. Unwanted incident, the act of irresponsibility by the armed forces, which we have seen they took a shelter through this AFSPA act. That is why we have come today to stand united and give our support to the NESO to move ahead with this kind of agitation to request the government of India to kindly repeal this dragon law which has been implemented in our northeastern states. We have seen the double standard act of the Indian government. We all know that India as a country is a secular state. India as a country has been made by the joining of each and every respected small state in the year 1948, in which we as the Federation of Kasi State, we have come together to join with the government of India as one country with a condition. But now when we spoke about the insecurity of our minority, the threat of our culture, the Indian government, when we asked about the implementation of ILP in our state, their answer which they have given us is that you are anti-India, anti-Indian. So to ask the kind of law to implement it to protect our own identity, that is the how we have been treated, have been showed that we are anti-Indian. Why we ask this? Because we as a community, especially the Khasi community, we are a microscopic community when compared with other community in other state of India as a country. So that is why I would like to appeal again to the NESO that kindly strengthen this agitation to in each and every northeastern eastern state in different towns and cities, so that our people will understand what is going to happening if we don't speak or don't shout against the removal or the repeal of the AFSPA Act in Northeast, in the Northeast state as a whole.
We all know the history of Mizoram, Northeast, Nagaland. Why are there insurgents in these places? Let me tell you an example of my state. Our leaders went to the authorities asking for food because there is a regular famine in Mizoram that happens every 40 or 50 years. But the leaders said no such thing will happen. So the Mizo people had to go back. They had to steal from the state treasuries. And what does the center do? They send jet fighters to bomb Aizawl. And when the people take up arms, they call us terrorists, they call us insurgents. One thing that should be clear is that AFSPA is not helping anyone. It is only a license to kill. It is a license to force brother to kill his own brother. It is obsolete, it is useless. If those people at the center can come up with a beautiful parliamentary vista in a short amount of time, a beautiful statue in such a short period of time, why can't they think of something new? 60 plus years it has been with this hopeless AFSPA.
I appeal to the NESO, Northeast Students Organization. Let us come together. The government of India, they like to protect the land, but they fail to protect us. And who is going to protect us? With the people together. We will fight. We have been till the end. We will fight. We will never give up. And this today, we stand by the side of the families. Not only Nagas, but as a Northeast, we appeal the government of India to repeal this. The Armed Special Power Act from our land. This is not going to be a solution. This act is putting a fire, and this will not bring any solution. People of Northeast, especially the students community, let us come together. Let us wake up. Let us watch each other's back from today onwards. Let's move forward. Not only today, but from today onwards, let's stand together.
This is not the first time. It has been going on since 1958. When are we going to stop? When are we going to raise our voice and say no to AFSPA? After spilling thousands of blood? We students here, let us all join against this act and say no to AFSPA. In a statement by Amit Shah, he stated that vehicles was signaled to stop, but it tried to flee. But there was a two survivor, and out of that, one of the survivors said, "We were not signaled to stop. They shoot us directly without any further warning." So I would like to question to Amit Shah that were you there? Were you present in that particular incident when it took place? Do you have any superpowers that you see what is going on? This guy, our brother, who survived from this act, who survived from this barbaric act, battling for his life in hospital, stated that they were not warned. I would also like to question the Indian Army. We say that you are the pride and honor of the country, but I see no pride and honor in killing innocent, unarmed civilians. What do you have to say for that? Let us all join hands against this act, like we stood here as one. Let us not stop until and unless justice is served. Last but not the least, what I want to say is that we are not against army, but we are against this act called AFSPA that implements, that grants unlimited power to the army to shoot without a mere suspicion.
How could the Indian Armed Force make such mistake? How shameless can they be, calling themselves as Security Special Force? Our life is not a game. We don't have an extra life. This barbaric incident is a big discouragement to the people of the Nagas and to the people of the Northeast. This we will not tolerate, and this nobody will tolerate at any cost. The responsible Indian Armed Force personnel has to be brought to justice. We will fight until justice is served. We will fight until justice is prevailed. And over the past years, we have suffered enough by the Indian Armed Force. The army itself should be part of the solution, but instead, they have become a part of the problem. We want peace. We want to live in peace. As everyone has said, we are peace-loving people. But until we are free, we can't live in peace.
I am so grateful to Northeast Student Organization that they organized this event and they brought people together because there is a cause. 6 people died for no reason. They were just sitting in a truck traveling from point A to point B and somebody comes and shoots them. But you have to understand, I am from a legal fraternity. You have to understand, there's a thing called Disturbed Areas Act. Until unless the state government imposes Disturbed Areas Act on a certain area, Armed Forces Special Powers Act cannot be included there, cannot be implemented there. So the state government is also liable if somebody dies. Section 3 of the Armed Forces Special Power Act says that until unless the state government wants them to be there, they cannot be there. The state government invites them there, and once invited, they will not leave for 3 months. Don't you think the state government is also answerable, equally answerable as the central government? What business does the army have in civilian areas? And all the people sitting in Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, Gujarat, if they are supporting AFSPA in certain areas, why don't they call their chief minister and tell them impose AFSPA in their area as well? Let them see how army treats law and order. This is not the way it should happen anymore. And until unless you unite and speak collectively, it's not going to change. So unite.